The law of attraction is total bullshit in my book. Yeah, there, I said it. I know any moment now the self-help police are going to show up on my doorstep and put me in a straitjacket just to make sure I never coach another human again. In the past decade or so, a whole lot of popularity has come around this idea of the law of attraction. They wrote that book about it and did that really strange documentary about it called The Secret. And there's a whole lot of credence thrown around with this idea that if you ask the universe nicely for what it is you want, that the universe will conspire to make it manifest for you. Ugh. So by this thinking, all you need to do is to pull up into the cosmic drive-thru of life and ask for what you want and pull up to the next window. Sounds like a really sexy concept, right? Let's test it out. What I'd like you to do is go outside into a crowded area and then ask the universe to have a bunch of people send you $100 bills and just visualize them throwing this money at you. You can see it and you can visualize it. Say it out loud. People love that. And you're asking for the $100 and see how it goes. Anything yet? No? How about now? You want some fries with that? Here's how so many of us got sucked into this nonsense. I have to admit, it's a really yummy idea. The idea that the universe has your back and wants so desperately for you to live in flow with it and to help you get all the things you want just because you asked really nicely and you're a good person and all. If the law of attraction is a real thing, then it would mean all of your goals are much more easily attainable. It would mean that we live in a world where there's some sort of magic wand or pixie dust or unicorn poo or whatever that is out there to help us, to make our lives better, to help us achieve more. That just sounds so amazingly wonderful and a little bit self-entitled, don't you think? I hate to break it to you, but the universe, or whatever it is you want to call the bunch of particles in the world, there's no entity out there just sitting on the edge of its seat waiting to hand you everything that you want just because you asked really nicely and you seem like a nice person. Life simply doesn't work that way, nor should it. So unless you ardently also believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, I think it's time that you let this one go. So why am I talking about this? This seems like naysaying. If you're a law of attraction student or a law of attraction coach yourself, by the way, I've coached many of you, I know that you're insulted by this and I don't want to offend you, but I want to tell you how I think the law of attraction ideology and this concept is hurting the coaching industry. In my not so humble opinion, the overwhelming popularity of the law of attraction is just a really big case of groupthink gone very, very, very wrong. Early in my career, when I started in 2006, people were already talking about this. But then The Secret came out and everybody was talking about this. Oprah was talking about this. And we all have to listen to the Queen of O. So it started out as a positive thinking movement, really contributing to the coaching world, slowly but surely devolved into an elaborate hoax, packaged and presented by a bunch of self-appointed gurus who now can tell you what you need for your spiritual practices as soon as you click the PayPal button. And once the law of attraction became a thing, which ironically is about the time that social media became a thing, the coaching industry jumped on it. They leapt to this opportunity. And some of the smartest people I know, people I absolutely love and respect, are hardcore ardent believers. It became this inescapable ideology that we were all expected and assumed to subscribe to. And that's exactly when the coaching industry started being perceived as a bunch of fluffy mumbo jumbo. Instead of being pushed to be your very best and really dig into how you're holding yourself back, law of attraction coaches started to coddle you with all kinds of law of attraction-based platitudes and mantras designed to make you feel good, but not actually change anything. And to make matters worse, on the flip side, if you weren't achieving what you want, it wasn't because you weren't doing something about it, it's because you didn't believe enough. As a coach, this is heartbreaking. Look, if you want to believe in this concept, believe. I'm not taking it away from you. If you want to believe in unicorns, go ahead with your badass self. You do you. I'm all for that. My point is that as coaches, it is not our place to tell other people what to believe. You do you. My job is to support you, to push you, to hear you and point out what you're not hearing about yourself. Not to proselytize some pseudo-spiritual belief system that I believe you need to buy into in order to work with me. Positive thinking is plenty powerful. I'm all for positive thinking. Don't get it twisted. I wrote an entire book and my entire coaching practice is about the thoughts in your head. Now, specifically about the thoughts that Hilda puts in your head, that horrible cartoon character that lives in your brain. But what I do, I admit, is ridiculous. In the law of attraction world, we don't admit it's ridiculous. We take it at face value that it just is. And I want to allow the folks out there who are listening to the sound of my voice right now to question that. Visualizing is something that pretty much every coach, including me, encourages. Because if you can visualize something, then that means you can articulate and identify what it is you want. I'm all for that. So by all means, visualize yourself getting a standing ovation after an amazing speech, signing a bunch of books with a line of people waiting for autographs because you finally published that book. Visualize yourself doing that thing that you do so well, but then go and put the legwork in and get it done. And don't expect some kind of cosmic drive-thru to hook you up in the meantime. I'm on a mission to shatter this belief that every coach out there is employing the law of attraction, that every time you get into a coaching experience, it's going to be this spiritual woo-woo journey that you need to go through. That is the case for many of us. But it's not the case for me. There are plenty of coaches out here who are not pushing their belief systems on other people. It's time that we reclaim the reputation of what life coaching really can be. A swift kick in the ass so that you can achieve more potential, you can have a more extraordinary life, and you can get on with the business of changing the world in your own way. So if you're really ready to reach out there and grab your wildest dreams, have you considered that it might be time to drop all of this law of attraction practice and just choose something much more practical, like hard work and discipline and support and goal setting and productivity? I want you to discover real, juicy possibilities, not just wild fantasies. I want you to be able to experience your dreams and see them to fruition instead of just wishing and hoping all the time and waiting for something to happen to you. I want you to go out there and make it happen. So what do you think? I know that I have some obviously strong opinions here, and I know I'm also not alone in my perspective, though I get that my take on the law of attraction is rather an unconventional one, to say the least. I really want to know what you think. And if you're out there listening to me saying, no, I am a hardcore fan of the law of attraction, this is my thing, it's my jam, it's always worked for me, go on with your badass self. I'm not taking that away from you. But what I am doing is writing a permission slip to anybody out there who's been trying desperately to get the law of attraction on their side, who've been trying to manifest your blah, blah, blah for so long that you can't even see straight. And you feel like there's something broken about you because you just don't believe quite right. I beg you to stop listening to the gurus and question for yourself whether or not this belief system is something you have to buy into. All you need to do is to drive into the cosmic what? In my not so humble opinion, the whole law of attraction thing is a bleh. We're going to try it again. This popular, the overwhelming popularity, why can't I say that? It's time that we reclaim the reputation, that's it. Popularity of this movement is really I don't know what I'm trying to say here, and we're going to do it again.